Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me begin. Well, I'm trying to begin, all right. Let me begin by thanking all of you in this room for your patriotism, for your love of this country, and for doing what too few Americans are doing, and that is standing up and fighting and getting involved in the political process. Thank you all. And let me give a special thanks to my dear friend, Harry Reid, and his wife, Landra, for their decades and decades of service to Nevada and to the people of our country. Harry, thank you so much. And let me just say, as you have heard from Secretary Clinton and Governor O'Malley, this country, in fact, has come a long way in 7 years. It's come a long way because of the leadership of President Obama and Vice President Biden, but also because of the leadership of Harry Reid. Thank you, Harry. We have come a long way since George W. Bush left office. When Bush left office, 800,000 people a month were losing their jobs. We had a $1.4 trillion deficit. And oh yes, the world's financial system was on the verge of collapse. Our Republican friends, and we shouldn't be too hard on them, they suffer from an illness called amnesia. They seem to have forgotten the conditions that they left this country in, but we are not going to allow the American people to forget that. We have made real progress, and we should be proud of what we have accomplished. But, and here is the big but, we still have a very, very long way to go to create the kind of country we know we deserve. Yes, unemployment has gone down, but real unemployment today, counting those who have given up looking for work and are working part-time, is close to 10%. Youth unemployment is off the charts. We have got to put the American people back to work, and that's why I am fighting for a $1 trillion infrastructure program to rebuild our roads, our bridges, our airports, and put 13 million people back to work. Today in America, let's be clear, the federal minimum wage is a starvation wage. People in Nevada, people in Vermont, people all over this country are working 2 or 3 jobs to try to pay the bills. It is not a radical idea to say that somebody who works 40 hours a week should not live in poverty. We are going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Today in America, millions of senior citizens and disabled veterans are trying to get by on $12,000 or $13,000 a year. Well, you know what? You can't get by on $12,000 or $13,000 a year. My Republican colleagues think that $12,000 or $13,000 a year is too much. They want to cut Social Security. The truth is, we have got to expand Social Security and pay for it by lifting the cap on taxable income. That music is really beautiful. But today in America, the middle class of this country continues to disappear. Despite a huge increase in technology and productivity, millions of our people are working longer hours for lower wages. And yet today, despite the disappearance of the middle class, we have more income and wealth inequality than at any time since 1928, and it is worse in America than any other major country on earth. It is morally unacceptable that the top 1/10% today now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. It is wrong that the 10 wealthiest families in America own more wealth than the bottom 50%. It is wrong that 58% of all new income created today is going to the top 1%. Here is a radical idea. We're going to create an economy that works for working families, not for billionaires. As you have heard from Secretary Clinton and Governor O'Malley, the Affordable Care Act has accomplished some very important goals. We've done away with the obscenity of pre-existing conditions. We have added some 17 million more Americans to the ranks of the insured. No small thing. But, and here is the but again, we can do better. We must do better. The United States today remains the only major country on earth that does not guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child. In the United States, we pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, and the drug companies can double or triple the price of your medicine tomorrow. The time is long overdue for this great country to join the rest of the industrialized world and pass a Medicare for all single-payer program. I am a member of the Senate Environmental Committee and the Senate Energy Committee. Harry, thanks for putting me on those committees. And in that capacity, I can tell you that I have talked to scientists not only throughout our country, but throughout the world. And the truth is that climate change is real. It is caused by human activity. It is already doing devastating harm in our country and around the world. Now, the Koch brothers and the fossil fuel industry may not like it, but the time is now, for the sake of our children and our grandchildren, to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. Today in America, we have an economy which is rigged, in which the rich get much richer while most everybody else gets poorer. But in addition to having a rigged economy, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. And what that means is that as a result of this disastrous 5-4 Supreme Court decision, super PACs are popping up all over the political landscape, and millionaires and billionaires are in the process of buying elections. That is not what democracy is about. That is what oligarchy is about. And we are going to end oligarchy in this country. Here's a promise. No nominee of mine to the United States Supreme Court will get that position unless he or she is crystal clear that one of their first orders of business will be to overturn Citizens United. I am very proud to be the only Democratic candidate for president who does not have a super PAC. I am extraordinarily proud that in the last 8 months, my campaign has received 2.5 million individual contributions, more than any campaign in the history of the United States of America. And listen to this, the average contribution is less than $30. What we are proving in a very significant way is that you can run a national campaign, a campaign that I believe will be a winning campaign without being dependent on corporate money or the money of millionaires and billionaires. Today, we have got to recognize a very unpleasant but true fact, that I'm the only candidate for president who will tell you this, and that is no president, not Bernie Sanders or anybody else, can alone take on the powers that be in this country. No candidate, no president can do it alone. Wall Street, corporate America, the corporate media, the Koch brothers, big campaign donors are just too powerful. That's the simple truth, an unpleasant truth, but the truth. And that is why, in my campaign, what we are talking about is not just electing a president, we are calling for a political revolution. And what does that mean? What does that mean? What it means is that we will not succeed as a nation unless tens of millions of people, many of whom who have given up on the political process, many of them who no longer have faith in Washington, many of whom no longer vote. If we are not able to bring those people, working people, young people, low-income people back into the political process, we will not be able to transform America and create a government that works for all of us. Thanks. I am very proud that in this campaign so far, all over this country, we have had meetings bringing out over 450,000 people. That all over this country, young people and working people are now standing up and are fighting back against a rigged economy and a corrupt political system. And let me be very clear and be a little bit political here. All of us want to make sure that we defeat right-wing extremism, that we make certain that no Republican becomes president of the United States. All of us are united that we're going to take back the Senate and that we're going to do well all over this country. But let me be very clear. That result will not happen with establishment politics and establishment economics. The only way that Democrats win elections is when we have a large voter turnout. Republicans win as they did last year, when people are demoralized, when people give up on the political process. What we need in this campaign is energy, we need youth, we need working people, we need a Democratic Party. We need a Democratic Party that makes it clear to every worker in this country that we are on their side and we're prepared to take on the billionaire class. Our job should not be simply to be running around the country raising money from the wealthy. Our job should be to bring working people together in basketball arenas and football stadiums by the tens of thousands to answer their questions, to mobilize them so that we have the fighting force we need to transform this country. But we will not accomplish that goal unless the middle class and working families of this country know in their hearts that we are on their side. And they will not know that we are on their side unless we have the courage to stand up to the billionaire class whose greed is destroying our economy. And that is why I have introduced legislation that takes on the most powerful special interest in the United States of America. And that is the need to break up the huge financial institutions on Wall Street. As the people of Nevada understand, Wall Street's greed and recklessness and illegal behavior created the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. But a funny thing happened. We bailed out Wall Street because they were too big to fail. It turns out that 3 out of the 4 largest banks in America today are bigger than they were when we bailed them out because they were too big to fail. It turns out that the 6 largest financial institutions in America have assets equivalent to 60% of the GDP of this country, issue 2/3 of the credit cards, and write 1/3 of the mortgages. When you have a handful of financial institutions that are so powerful economically, that are so powerfully politically, the only rational approach is, in fact, to break them up and create a financial system, a financial system that works for small and medium-sized businesses, not an island unto itself that is only concerned with more and more profits for itself. I am the ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee, and I will tell you what the Republican budget is about. The Republican budget is about voucherizing Medicare, making massive cuts in Medicaid, massive cuts in education, throwing millions of people off of health care, and then giving hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks to the top 0.2%. That is a budget and that is a political party that must be thrown out of office. But we will not do that. We will not succeed unless we galvanize the American people, unless voter turnout goes up, not down, unless young people get involved in the political process rather than sit it out. So what this campaign is about is bringing millions of people into the political process in a way that we have not seen in many, many years. And that's what it will take to win in November. Not only to retain the White House, but to regain the Senate and to win governor's chairs all over this country. I would not be running for president. I love my state of Vermont, and I love being senator from Vermont. I would not be running for president if in my heart of hearts I did not believe that it is just too late for establishment politics and establishment economics. It is not easy, I know that, and it makes people very nervous when we talk about a political revolution. But here's the truth. No change that has ever come in this country has occurred from the top down. It has always been from the bottom on up. We fought against segregation and racism because millions of African Americans and whites stood together and said, enough is enough. We combated sexism and made significant progress because women and their male allies said, women will not be second-class citizens in the United States. Unions in the 20s and the 30s grew to become a fighting and powerful force because from the bottom on up, workers stood together and demanded the right for collective bargaining. We have made significant progress in the struggle for gay rights because the gay community and their straight allies said people in America must have the right to love those who they want. So over the years, we have made a lot of progress in creating a less discriminatory society. God only knows that we have a long way to go, but we have made progress. But here is where we have not made progress. Here is where we have lost ground, and that is the economic struggle. And what that means is that while the very rich become richer, most of us are becoming poorer. It means that there is an agenda in Washington now, led by the Republicans, that wants to cut Social Security and eliminate virtually every piece of legislation passed in this country since the 1930s which protect working people. So we are in a pivotal moment in American history. And that moment is, do we bring our people together to stand up and say loudly and clearly that this great government of ours belongs to all of us and not a handful of billionaires? That the democracy that so many brave men and women gave their lives to defend is not going to be undermined by Citizens United and super PACs. That is the struggle that we are in right now, and it is a very difficult struggle. Taking on the Koch brothers, taking on the corporate media, taking on Wall Street is not an easy struggle. They have unlimited sums of money. They have incredible power. But we have something that they do not have. And that is when the people stand together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. And that is what this campaign is about. Thank you all very much.